Back in the day, I used to sleep on the floor. This floor right here, to be exact. This bed right here, which is, this is the same bed that I've had ever since I was a little kid. Even the same sheets that I used when I was a little kid, I'm using now because we just haven't bought new ones, haven't taken the time, haven't taken out the money. I would prefer to have new sheets, but, what can you do? This floor right here and that floor under there where all of that stuff is where I slept a lot when I first moved in here. Um, it was air mattress that I had slept on. Those of you who watched my channel back in November of 2018 and December of that year saw me, in a very, very empty room, just sort of hanging out, laying on the floor every day. And I listened to a lot of Chapo Trap House back then because I didn't have any video game consoles or a proper computer set up. I just had my phone and what I could do with my dad's internet, which was, tethered. I had to use tethering the whole time. And I just laid on the floor, either on the floor itself or, with an air mattress. And in a way, I think it was more comfy than actually just having a bed now. Where, what's great about having a bed is that you can put stuff under it, but with an air mattress, like, I have not found a single parallel in terms of comfiness that there is with air mattresses. I would just sleep in it all the time or just lay there just to be in the air mattress because it was that comfortable. Um, and every now and again, I catch myself just laying down on the floor just to be on the floor. And it kind of brings me back to that time. Even though there was a lot going on and I was incredibly depressed at the time, when I look back at the time that I had spent on the floor, there's something almost mystical about it, romantic even, remembering who I was and the media that I consumed, that I had just discovered my favorite podcast and that I wanted to listen to it all the time. That, you know, even though I was pretty lonesome and there wasn't a lot going on, there was something, something illuminating about the darkness of the room, the feeling of the mattress, just looking around and for the room to be entirely empty. That the days that I had spent on the floor, as sad as they may have been, encapsulate a very specific point in my life. Just entering this place that I now call my home, this very special place to me that I've been able to connect to over time through turning it into a home, putting up my flags, my posters, and my computer, which I use very regularly, as you probably know. But at that time, it was not a home yet. I had my little dog cage that Bertram was in. I had, well, he wasn't in it all the time, but he had to go in it sometimes. And, he was my little friend laying on the floor with me. And that was about it. I had to worry sometimes because his claws were so sharp that while I was asleep, he might have tore a hole into the air mattress, and the air mattress would make a big exploding sound in the event that he did that. So as I was going to sleep each night, every now and again I would begin to think, what if this is the night that he pokes a hole into my mattress? Of course, I didn't care enough, or else I would have just slept on the floor on its own. But it was what it was. And that's what that time was, is that it was what it was. Um, Looking back, seeing how differently that I viewed the house at the time, that this was a place that I had just arrived, and I hated it there, and it didn't feel like this place was my place to live in. How different you can feel after just spending, even a couple months in one place. How used to it you become, and how much you make it your own, how much you adapt to where you are to begin loving that place. What's so nice about the days on the floor is that I find a stark contrast in them. I look at who I was, and who I was is completely different to who I am now, but it's something I can learn from. And in a way, it's something I can feel nostalgic for just because of how different it was. That little moment in time, characterized by being on the floor sleeping there every day, and the darkness of the room, the emptiness of the room, what I was doing, the media I was consuming, all of that spans a couple months. And that couple of months was different than any other couple of months I've lived in.